I can't listen to anything you said because his name is too distracting.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna carry on. I'm gonna like
You're just gonna talk through me and ignore, which is probably better for the podcast, honestly. Hey, do you want to hear how old of a man I am?
yeah, I do.
So
I do.
there's a local sports store, Sport Check. The location near me is closing. So I was like, ooh, sales, which is just me. That's not the old man part. The old man part is I bought Crocs and the exact same shirt that I already own, just in a different color. And it's a golf shirt because it
Hmm.
breathes nice.
Hmm.
And it's fun. The Crocs thing, nobody cares, but to me, it's like a fucking lifetime milestone because in my 20s and 30s, I relentlessly made shit like fun of them and gave people shit for wearing them. And then, like a couple years ago, when I was at the in-laws in Alberta, I went to like a little place called Red Apple and they had knockoff Crocs, and I just needed shoes to go in and out. So I bought them and they're like the most comfortable thing ever. And I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. They're not actual Crocs. So it's not me going back on younger self. But this time I just got actual Crocs and paid like $50 for them. And that was them on sale. I had no idea Crocs were that expensive. But I was like, I'm just gonna get the real deal because they'll last longer. Because those other ones I had, they lasted like a year and then they're trashed.
Oh, so these ones should be better,
They should
theoretically.
be. They better be. They better last at least 10 times as long. I just saw the fly.
Yeah.
It just flew by.
They're good. They
For
are
those,
flies are actually satanic. I really have it. Like I don't like to kill things. I don't. There's only two things I like to three things I like to kill. I can't tell you the third one.
your own
Two
innocence
I
and
can
flies.
I can I can disclose that I will kill. I'll spend like hours fucking swatting flies
Yeah, dude, flies suck.
and cockroaches. I don't like cockroaches.
Are cockroaches even really a thing here?
I lived in some apartments in Vancouver that had one in particular that had a really bad cockroach infestation. Like,
Jesus.
and we're talking about like, George A. Romero creep show, like a carpet, a fucking moving floor.
Ew.
Yeah,
I've
that was on Gore and Powell.
Oh fuck gore, bro. Yeah.
And I know, and I lived above oh, I want to kill that guy so bad. I lived above
Thanks, you
oh,
just got
and
his
the
play.
algorithm's not gonna like that at all. Fuck. Uh lived above a bakery on Powell Street.
Yeah.
Back when it wasn't as fashionable to slum it in the more poverty-stricken areas of Vancouver. Now it's kind of it's fashionable sort of.
I feel like now it's not fashionable. That's just all people can afford these days.
Oh, right, that's the other thing.
Like there was a time when it was like slumming it and you were like, oh, I'm gonna go here and be cool and try to gentrify the neighborhood. And now it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's this or the street.
I have to be honest with you. I was in my 20s and I didn't want to be well, I did want to be cool, but that's not why I was living there. And I didn't want to gentrify anything. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't know what the word gentrify meant. I thought I would have thought Bobby Gentrify, the country singer. That's what I would have thought if you'd said that word to me.
Is that where the term comes from?
Bobby
This
Gentry,
country
Billy Gentry.
singer?
Yeah, the ballad of anyway, it's not important.
No, I don't know actually. Oh, by the way, this is episode 294? Question mark as the
Ode to
page
Billy
loads.
Joe, Bobby Gentry,
God damn it.
Bobby Gentrify. So you're in Vancouver. I'm not.
294, right?
So, so we don't have this problem quite yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not coming. No, I would be surprised if it's not coming.
What problem?
Well, you just had a big march, a big protest against these proposed data centers,
Oh yeah, they're
which are
gonna
not, by the way, not data. It's not data. I mean, what a innocuous name they give it.
well,
It's
that's why it has that name.
yeah, these big surveillance machines.
Yeah. Basically it's just a server farm in a building. So I'll like it's funny because the way they're gonna do it in Vancouver's a little different than the big stink that Kevin O'Leary has in Utah, where they're just gonna have like 20,000 acres or whatever the fuck it is and build like 200 football fields worth of computers just humming. In Vancouver, there's like this old building called the Hoot Suite building. I don't know if it's called the Hoot Suite building or if they just bought it or whatever, but it's basically an office building that had like this thing called Hoot Suite. If you don't if you blinked, you missed Hoot Suite because it was before Twitter had full functionality. There was like an add-on app called Hoot Suite that would allow you to do all this random stuff that Elon Musk eventually just added to X.
When a mutual friend and in fact a mutual employer of ours was working for Hootsuite, I would say to him,
Yeah.
I would ask him, what is it that you do? What do you produce there exactly? And he never had an answer.
Yeah, because he was like what, project manager?
I'm not sure what he did. I think he did what, fucking fly. He was he was pretty high up
Yeah,
in the
he was like
hierarchy.
a manager of some sort, but yeah, he made money. That's
Manager.
good. I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah, he did.
Hootsuite made money. It was a free app.
Well, this is what I was asking him. It's like, what is it actually? And he never could really explain it to me. Maybe he could, and I
Yeah.
just didn't understand the words.
Yeah, it
Like
was probably
deck. I
like
remember the word deck.
deck.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you had a deck.
Yeah, like that's what it was when you would have like user interface, which was like you open a web page, like you open an app. They used to call apps decks, and it was like it would just be like a thing that ran Twitter in the background, but you would go through Hootsuite, and that's why it was called a deck because you would interact through Hootsuite. I don't know. It doesn't
I
make
know
sense to me. I'm sure it
there was a
doesn't sound as sci-fi magical.
no, it was garbage. I mean, I was just trying to get him to say that. Yeah, we make garbage. It's
Hmm.
garbage. It's nothing. It's nothing. But we actually what we produce is nothing, and I'm a millionaire now. But deck, I think if I'm unless I'm mistaken, isn't that what the uh the sort of cyber cowboys in the William Gibson's original trilogy, didn't they refer to their computers as decks?
Oh, maybe.
That's anyway, it's not important, except that I'm pretty sure that the author of those books is an asset of the intelligence community.
What books?
Neuromancer, Count Zero, and Mona Lisa Overdrive.
Oh, I never read those. Are they good? Should I read them or are they dated?
I liked them when they came out. I loved them.
How
They
old were
were
you?
they were very, very I mean he was very accurately predicting the immediate future.
When was that they came out?
Late 80s.
Yeah, they're probably like that sci-fi where it's like it predicts everything and it's true. It's just they use different names like decks instead of laptops and stuff.
Yeah, I think possibly the author was being fed some intel, right? And
Oh,
and was
trying to
fictionalizing it.
normalize it.
Yeah,
What's
in
that
your
term?
sort of the predictive programming.
Yes, where they get you used to it through like entertainment and stuff.
Yeah, and tell you and also disclose what's coming because as we've discussed many times on the show, that's part of the religion is
That's
you have to
true.
have the consent of the people, right? So it's basically it's a boondoggle. It's a scam. You show people what's coming and we pay money to see it
I
and
love
read it.
old-timey words. Sorry.
What was the old timey word I used?
Boondoggle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not that old-timey of a word, but it's funny.
Not really.
Yeah. Um,
People say grift now. That's the big one.
yeah, well.
But yeah, so here's the thing. When we were working together for this fellow that eventually ended up at Hootsuite, he got out when the going was good, by the way. And
Yeah.
now he's doing
Well,
things that matter now. But I remember when we got coming to the office one day and seeing Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth and William Gibson of William Gibson walking down Granville Street together, enjoying an intense conversation.
mhm.
And back then, that's the kind of thing that would have impressed me.
Who's William Gibson for the people not in the know?
William Gibson is a sci-fi author who lives in Vancouver, who
Oh,
wrote, uh, he wrote a very important book called Neuromancer. So the whole
oh, the books you
the
just fucking
cyberpunk
mentioned.
genre,
You just
cyberpunk begins with
explained
Gibson.
this. You just
Yeah,
explained this, and I'm a
I
fucking
did.
idiot.
You've got baby
Sorry.
brain.
I do have baby brain. And it's not because I have a baby, it's just my brain is babied. And it's fucking I can't remember shit. That's
Yeah.
why it's really good to talk about conspiracies with you and me, because you'll say stuff like, I don't know, whatever word you just said that I can't remember because of my baby brain.
Boondoggle.
No, not boondoggle, but you'll say stuff like
Cyberpunk.
no, the fucking when they do stuff in the media.
Predictive programming.
Yeah, I'll you say stuff like predictive programming. I'm like, why don't you explain that for the audience, Adrian? Because there's someone who's in the audience, including me, who has a baby brain and can't remember that.
Does your
But
brother
it's
got any kids? As your our listener,
no,
viewer?
our one listener has no kids, but my other brother has 5 kids, and my sister has 4 kids.
Do they ever tune in?
No, they have kids. They don't have
Well, fair
time for
enough. I
conspiracy
mean,
theories.
I have kids. Stop using that term. This is okay. This is my last appearance on Outrage Factory.
Okay,
If you ever you say conspiracy theories one more time,
okay, I
I'm
won't.
out.
What did you say? Occluded history?
Parapolitics, I don't know.
Par.
Occluded history, sure. State, state crimes. Because we're not
Okay.
talking about we're not talking about conspiracies. We're talking about they are conspiracies, but state crimes, crimes of
Okay.
or corporate crime.
Time
Things
crime?
that are happening that
Well,
are covered
see,
up.
we can't just say corporate crime because that's just corporates and not governments, which are captured by
Yeah, what's
corporations.
the
So it
difference now?
kind of counts, but um, parahistory's cool.
So did you take part in any of these
No,
marches?
me
It's
March.
I gotta be interested, or it's interesting to me. So I want to recommend a guy, excellent podcaster and a pundit, Canadian pundit by the name of Snow Himbo. Have you heard of this gentleman?
Snow himbo? No.
He's good. He's really good. I recommend him. He's smart, smarter than either. You put us together, kind of smart.
Well, that's
He's
90% you, 10% me, buddy. So
no, I don't think so. But he supersedes
you're
us put
basically just
together.
saying he's smarter than you.
But we are combined much taller than him, to be
That's
fair.
true. We're like
But
12 feet.
anyway, he just did a great episode of Geopolitics and Empire with, I don't can never say his name, Hervoy, I think his name is, down in Mexico.
Hmm.
So he's a Canadian pundit, and he feels as lost as many of us do right now, and certainly feels alienated from the progressive community that once he might have seen as allies, but not anymore. And he pointed out that the and I think he's right about this. The one thing that we can all probably agree on, because we all hate each other now. We've been atomized into these,
Whoa, whoa,
ever
whoa.
multiplying
Can
factions.
I stop you right there? There are some OG curmudgeons like myself who hated most people already. It's not
Yeah,
new.
yeah, but now we hate each other for our belief systems and politics and everything,
Yeah,
and we
not
can't get
just
along.
music taste like the good old days.
Yeah, sorta. But the one thing that we can agree on and rally around is that everybody, and I mean everybody, hates the fucking data centers.
Oh, they
And
do.
the thing about the data centers is whatever they have planned for us, and we have talked about it. We've painted a picture of the
Mhm.
near future. But if we're talking about a sort of global digital gulag, a control grid where you're stuck on some shitty UBI, which you only get if you comply with lots of things you don't want to comply with.
Sounds like you're
Um,
explaining Star Trek, by the way.
and oh well, Gene Roddenberry was a
It's so I want to.
tasty individual, not to mention a dirty old man.
So I don't want to derail you too much, but I really want to see like a dark interpretation of Star Trek where it's like the military
Dude,
industrial complex that took over everybody and put everybody on UBI, and you have to go to Starfleet Academy to become a citizen. Like
the
the
Star Trek and Gene Roddenberry, who I gather was not a talented or particularly bright individual, but who was used by somebody. The name Leslie Stevens tends to come up. Leslie Stevens, TV writer, producer, made the only film, as far as I know, that was entirely in Esperanto. A film called, I think it was called Incubus, starring William Shatner.
fuck, I forgot about Esperanto.
So these people are all globalists, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, Gene Roddenberry was being used. I'm sure he was very compromised. And there's all that business with the Council of the Nine, Professor Vinod, was that his name? They when Gene Roddenberry was among the people that were invited to these channeling sessions, and basically the entire New Age religion was laid out by this channeler Vinod, and who was speaking, who was the mouthpiece of the Council of the Nine Gods. This is what Gene Roddenberry like believed.
Oh, he believed in all that crazy shit.
Apparently. So
So
the Secret Sun blog goes into this in great depth, and it's really it's incredibly interesting. But Star Trek's pretty. Um, Speaking of predictive programming,
yeah.
Star Trek had a function.
And it's funny because everybody's like, you say predictive programming and you say Star Trek, and everyone's like, it's true. We have cell phones and they used to have communicators. And it's like, no, 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 no. Let's talk about the other thing where it's like, if put Star Trek on Earth, it's not in space. And instead of like spaceships, they just have ships. And it's basically the Navy runs the entire civilization. And instead of going to a university, you go to a Navy school. That's the predictive programming. Like, I mean, the only thing Star Trek got wrong is it probably won't be the Navy. It'll probably just be like a army version of it where you don't get to go on ships as much.
I think that the sort of assumed utopian vision of the future represented by Star Trek is cipher or shorthand for globalism.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
And globalism is part of the religion of the people behind the scenes.
And the shittiest thing is, we're all going to be like controlled by Starfleet or whatever they call it, and we won't even get to go to space. We'll just be
Also, but
stuck here and we'll all have to go to work in third world countries and like bring those people up to speed and bring democracy to them.
the entire topic also has been booby trapped because, and I've seen this from people that I thought I respected who um, will immediately, in a knee-jerk fashion, if they hear the word globalism, will then call you an anti-Semite. So that's been coded into it, right?
So I have like a nitpick about this.
Mm.
Whenever anybody
You do.
says, whenever anybody says like a complaint about globalism is anti-Semitic, it's like, oh, so you're admitting globalism is a Semitic fucking like
No,
trait.
I don't think they're doing
But
that.
you know what? That's what it means. Like when you can't say that what happened in Gaza is still happening was a genocide. They're like, you can't call that a genocide because that's anti-Semitic. You're like, wait, if it's anti-Semitic to call that genocide, does that mean like pro-Semitism is pro-genocide? Like, I don't understand like the second degree of this calling everything Semitic. You know
I
what I
can't
mean? Like,
I can't follow along with your five-dimensional Chinese checkers, man. It's too much.
well, it's just they're like globalism is anti-Semitic. It's like, okay, what's pro-Semitic? That we like globalism? Get
Well,
fucked.
so first of all, anybody that's like waving around the anti-Semitic charge these days, is just not, they're not using the whole of their brain.
Yeah, at least just call it racism like the left did.
Well, so what I'm saying is, listen to this new episode of Geopolitics and Empire with the pundit Snow Himbo, and he
Snow
makes the
him.
very
Is that a made
Snow.
up name?
No, I'm sure he was christened that
I
way, Snow
definitely
Himbo.
shouldn't be getting as hung up on Snow Himbo as I am.
I think he might be gay. Um,
Wait, does that mean I'm on the spectrum when you tell me about this guy who's doing this super important big brain shit and then you say his name is Snow Himbo and I'm like, I can't listen to anything you said because his name is too distracting.
yeah, so I'm just gonna carry on. I'm gonna like
You're just gonna talk through me and ignore, which is probably better for the podcast, honestly.
yeah. I urge everybody to listen to what he has to say about these data centers. Is it's a sort of it's a rallying the thing that we can all get behind because look, the digital gulag doesn't happen without these things.
Hmm.
Like that's it. This is and the hour is late, guys. We're getting really close.
Yeah, I mean, they're already
Um,
physically building these things. We're like near the end.
Once these things are up and running, and suddenly we're plunged into these enormous what's the word I'm looking for? Energy deficits.
Oh
Suddenly
yeah.
there's a huge energy crisis and everything's being rationed and basically we're back in we're in COVID land again. We're talking about lockdowns and massive, let's say, government overreach.
Do you want
Kind
me
of
to give you some specific numbers on that?
on what?
So EB, fucking BC's premier, who eventually, who I don't know why these like the one thing data centers has done is turned all of our fucking politicians super conservative, because fucking Carney's all like, yeah, we're building fucking data centers, get fucked, we're gonna make money, and you're like, isn't that what Harper was supposed to do? And then
I
EB's like, we can't fall behind, we got to build these data centers, we're gonna put one in the fucking city.
So understand, we've been over this 1 million times now. They're all on the same page.
Okay, it is a uniparty.
It's just kayfabe. They pretend to have ideological differences. They're all going in the same direction.
Okay, but
Evie, Harper,
it is surprising.
and Mr. Elbows Up. They're all Trump, Xi, Putin, all of them.
Yeah.
They're
Like
all the fucking same, okay?
people who do like parahistory always talk about mask revealing moments, and I know I mix the two. I like, anyways.
I like it.
I mix parapolicy and occluded history. I'm gonna call it parahistory. Are you okay with
No,
that?
it's great. I like your neologism.
Yeah. But anyways, though everybody's always talking about these mass down moments. And it used to be a big fucking deal when like Trump would say the quiet part out loud and you'd be like, holy shit, is he actually saying it? But it's kind of like, hey, we're 4 or 5 months. Is it four? It's 5 months into the fucking year. And I'm done with fucking mass down moments. I don't need to know EB's actually a cocksucker. I don't need to know Carney's actually uber conservative globalist. Can we just cool it down? And like, why is it data? Like, I get why it's data centers because they want to control us and all. But the reason I brought this back up was remember Site C, the big thing that was like a big fucking deal like five,
Mm,
6 years ago,
mhm.
when Trudeau said he was like going to okay them building Site C, which is a damming project in British Columbia, if you don't know. So the thing about British Columbia is we're going to be rife with data centers is because we have all this hydroelectricity. Like we have so much electricity that comes from hydro dams that we call our electricity hydro here. Like that's what BC people refer to it. Anyways, so Site C was this big damming project where they stopped damming like big rivers and they dammed creeks and like little rivers, and it was on like First Nations land, and there's like this big thing, and then Trudeau's like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and everybody was like super surprised. And then the BC premier at the time, Horgan, I think, when the NDP took it from Christy Clark through backdoor, like it was okay. To brief over all this history, so
They're all the same.
yeah, Christy Clark was this conservative who was in forever, and she won
She's
again.
liberal.
And yeah, liberal, which is the conservative party. It's
They're
fucking
all the
annoying
same.
because in BC it's opposites. So, anyways, she was in party and she won the election. But then this guy named Horgan, along with the Green Party, said that she can't do government because she's not good enough. I don't know politics enough. Get a big brain person like Adrian to explain this. So what happened was Horgan and the NDP party, along with the Green Party, loopholed their way in the back door, said she wasn't good enough to govern, and then they did some fucking parliament thing and they're like, yeah, she's not good enough to govern because these other two parties say they aren't. So they put in Horgan, and everyone's like, oh, I guess we just get the like more progressive party in. So it looked like we were getting this progressive party that cared about the earth and all this stuff, and everybody in BC was happy because the only reason we live here and pay these prices is because we have more trees in Alberta. So then he says, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna do this fucking Site C damming, and everybody's like, whoa, 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 what the fuck? I thought you were supposed to be this like progressive guy. And then he's like, actually I'm not. And then everybody forgot about it. So anyways, they built this dam and stuff. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is this fucking new data centers that EB wants to build. There's three of them. I only know specifically where the Hoot Suite one is because it's in like city limits. But
That's on like 8th in Quebec or something, right?
yeah, it's like in town, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like You want to hear NIMBY? Wait till they flick that switch and those fucking servers start humming. How much
So
those
this is what I
neighbors are
mean.
going to get
Nobody,
confused.
like, no one wants this.
And
No one.
the whole point I bring this up, and Site C damned, you're like, Dale, get to the fucking point. It's going to take 14% of the electrical output of Site C to power these things. And if you know BC Hydro, which is our, is it? It's like we in BC we have these like corporations that provide us services, and they're not private and they're not public. They're like contracted by the government, so they seem like they're public, but I don't know. Anyways, they're going to charge
There's
us
this
way
new and
fucking more.
exciting third thing, but yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
they're going to charge us way more for electricity
Yeah.
because they're taking 14% of this thing. Okay, this dam didn't exist like 6 years ago or 10 years ago, whenever they built it. And now it exists and they're already taking up like one
It's going
sixth
to
of
it's
the
going to
power.
it's going to crush us in terms of resources
Yeah.
and very, very much accelerate the program to destroy and obliterate, in fact, get rid of the middle class and finally boil things down to a sort of global serfdom. Like we're heading into feudalism,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people really need to understand this. And I've already seen, I don't know if these people are bots or if they're paid or what or where their accounts actually are generated from, like where they actually live. But people in Vancouver defending the data centers
Yeah.
now
Cause I
and
think it's
saying
going to
a lot of
get
the,
them jobs.
it doesn't use that much fresh water, it doesn't use that much electricity, which immediately means it does. By the way,
Yeah.
that's their argument. No, it doesn't do any of that stuff. Then it does that. We know that anyway. But so there is this thin sliver of I don't know, approval, I suppose, which I don't think is actually organic.
Oh, it's
Um,
definitely not. Like they
but I
bought
got like
off.
as like every single progressive in Vancouver, my feeling for the last 5 years has been every single one of them can suck my dick, and I think you fucked everything up. Like I really think you fucked everything up, you people, with your
Yeah.
fucking obsessions, your identity obsessions, and everything else, and every fucking bad policy that you've gotten behind. You fucked everything up. But you know what? I'm with you. Now let's be friends and fucking this is the actual enemy.
Hmm.
We've had to come here through different means. I'm glad to see that people are marching in Vancouver about something that
Yeah.
matters. The same people that didn't like, let's say, truckers, whatever. They were fighting for the same fucking thing. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. So good. Let's all get together now.
Yes.
This is a thing we can agree on. The nice thing is a data center, you don't have to inject it into your veins. Some people seem to like that. I don't. But this is going to steal your life. This shit's
Okay.
going to steal your life.
And the most terrifying thing I've heard about data centers is like Adrian says, it uses a fuck ton of like clean water. Then it's to cool the systems because that's how hot they are. And then it uses all this electricity, so our electricity is going to go up. But the other fucking scary thing is like these ones in the Utah desert or whatever that they're building that are giant, they're going to raise the ground temperature of by 28 degrees. So these things are fucking hot. Like touch the bottom of your laptop. We're all using laptops. You know how they tell you to not put your laptop on your lap because you're going to cook your balls? What do you think these data centers are going to be? Look up the math on how much laptops they are for like heat exchange or whatever, and they're just gonna like we're all gonna have not babies. We're all gonna be
It's kind of the
infertile.
thing that might be breaking the spell finally for people. Like if you want to, you can resist and resist and resist. You can tell yourself, ah, yeah, there's nothing wrong with 5G. You can tell yourself there's nothing wrong with mRNA vaccines. You can tell yourself all of these things. You can keep pretending that all of this shit is not going to hurt you. They're spraying us. It's nothing. Silver iodide can't really hurt me, right? You can keep fucking doing that. This is the thing where you can't do that anymore. Like this
Yeah,
is what I'm observing. Everyone from dumb to fucking smart and from right to left, all of that doesn't exist. All of us down here, we're all like, wait a minute. No, we can agree. We can agree. This
yeah.
shit cannot fucking happen. It can't happen.
And the problem with like you're saying, like it's almost like you can like disassociate yourself from the clean water and stuff because we live by the ocean. We have all this fresh water. We have like thousands of lakes in BC and stuff. But it's like the temperature thing to me is like, look, it's almost like dumb person math because you're like global warming isn't actually global warming. They changed it to climate change, but it basically made the world warm. Like having these hot centers that are just fucking putting off all this heat, that's going to make global warming worse. Heat
Yeah.
makes warm worse. Just think of it like that.
Well, I mean, if you want to call attention to just the absolute hypocrisy and the fact that our authorities contradict themselves constantly. The same people that are telling you that you can't, whatever, you can't go flying anymore because of the impact it's having on the environment and then specifically on,
Yeah.
on the atmosphere. These are the same fucking motherfuckers that want to run these data centers. Like, so now, okay, the lies are becoming more and more visible all the time. The center cannot hold. This web of deceit is starting to reveal itself because there's so much inconsistency in it, for one thing. And meanwhile, what are they doing? They're trying to sell this as like security. Of course they are,
Yeah.
because
Like
they
job
always
security.
do.
Yeah. Like it's
That's your
funny.
other big clue. If they're telling you this is going to make you safer, it's not.
Yeah.
Surely we know this. Surely we can all agree by now.
Yeah. And it's funny because they're like, oh, there'll be jobs and there'll be jobs. You're like, this is the one thing, like they say it's AI data centers, and it's like basically the job taker. Like they're telling us we're going to get these jobs to build this or whatever. You're like, yeah, maybe 5 electricians will get in there to plug in wires and shit. But other than that, like it's just going to take all your jobs and shit. And the
Yeah.
one thing that like people for parahistory always say, like all these people who construct these ideas, can I say theorists without the
Sure,
first
sure,
part?
you can
Okay.
say that.
What all these theorists say is they're always like act locally, and this is exactly where you go. Like the
Yeah.
reason that all these data centers are passing is because they got us all fucking tripped up and thinking about what the other side is doing, like federally. Like in Canada, we're all worried about what's going on in Ottawa and stuff. So we're not going to like these like town halls and shit where they're like, oh yeah, we're putting this data center in a fucking commercial building downtown or south of downtown or whatever it is. So you got to like start paying attention to all this shit, because if you think it's easy to buy a federal politician for like $1 billion, like how much money would it take your fucking mayor to go against your wishes? It's a lot less than $1 billion, I'll tell you that. And
Okay.
the one of the examples of this, like this fucking thing in Utah, the data center that they're doing. I keep referencing this because it's basically the biggest worst example. Um, Kevin O'Leary, he's like, oh yeah, and the other thing is like he's fucking Canada's greatest shame apparently right now is Kevin O'Leary. Like we just built a monster and exported him to the States, and we're like, you fucking guys deal with this guy. But he was saying like how all the people wanted it and how it became like this thing because it's what the public agreed to do. But all that happened was there's 3 congressmen who said, yeah, do it, against like the wishes of the regular people. And it's like those 3 were obviously just bought off.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like it's almost terrifying because it's like it takes 3 politicians to basically fuck over all of Utah and probably beyond, like to build this giant data center that's just going to fry everything and use everybody's electricity and basically make everybody's life worse.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
going to put you in an open air prison.
that's true.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And again, the hour is late. Like the rate of acceleration in the last 5 years is staggering.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What they're doing, they've been talking about for a very long time, and now they're doing
Yeah.
it. They're doing it. They're going
Hmm.
for it.
Yeah, and it's
And
like
it's
it's not even sexy dystopia like Blade Runner. It's just
no,
everything looks the same except you don't have any money to buy all the nice
or
stuff.
mobility,
Yeah, that's true.
or you just, or yeah, access,
Hmm.
and your services are garbage, and they're contingent on your behavior. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's not looking good, man. But
What a
but
bummer.
I
Yeah.
have said it before, I remain optimistic
Oh yeah,
because
uh,
because this thing is finally completely unsustainable.
yeah. And
And
it's like
and I
how
don't
you
think they can kill enough of us.
and the one thing that's gonna fucking tank everything is what I hope is the AI bubble. Basically,
Hmm.
the whole like everything right now, the whole reason that it looks like we're not in a recession is because AI is basically underneath the fucking stock exchange holding it up, because you have companies like Nvidia who are putting money into AI companies who are putting money into Nvidia. So it's like this cyclical like round of funding where they're all just like kind of like hoping that somehow AI just makes all this money, even though, and but the funny thing about reality is when stuff doesn't make money, it goes away fucking fast. Like, think of all the stuff that just went, like Hoot Suite, prime example. Like, it was big enough to have its own fucking building. Me and
Yeah.
Adrian know a guy who made a lot of fucking money off of it, and it had a deck for a big fucking app like Twitter, and it was everywhere. And now it's just fucking crickets. It's gone because it stopped making money. So everybody just pulled out their stakes. And what I think is going to happen, the biggest problem with these data centers is I feel like they're going to build them. And then in 5 years, they're going to be like, we're not making any fucking money off of this. And then they're just going to switch them off. And then we're just going to have these fucking building sized laptops that are turned off. And then it's like, what do you do with all that fucking. But then I guess you could have like in a dystopian future, you can have like a second underground economy where they go in and they like fucking get all the rare earth minerals back out of all these computing and stuff.
It's a little foolish to speculate on how things will play out exactly,
I'm
but
never ashamed of or never afraid to be foolish, Adrian,
I know, but
especially with my predictions.
yeah. Well, it's fun, but
Hmm.
yeah, who knows how this is all going to shake down. What I'm saying is though that they're in in very practical material ways, these things are just not sustainable. And you do at the end of the day, you do need humans to run and
That's
fix.
true.
And yeah, and it's also because the whole thing is religion based. These are the transhumanists.
Oh,
They're
that's
making their
true.
big play. They have in the same way we can agree that government has been captured by corporations. Well, corporations have been captured by transhumanists. Transhumanism is, but by the way, which is an adjunct of Satanism in my view. Uh,
Hmm.
it has infected every policy-making body, every decision-making body. We can name names too. We know
You
who
know
these
what?
people are, and they're all we all when we know that they're all sick fucks.
I feel like the whole transgender fucking explosion of like fighting that popped up like 8 years ago or whatever was kind of almost a smokescreen for transhumanism.
It totally was.
Because yeah, you hear
Yes,
transhumanism and you're like, we've already had this debate. I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore. So you're
no,
unwilling to talk about but transhuman basically is it's trying to get people's like the main end goal of it is to get people's consciousness into computers,
it's
like what the metaverse was supposed to be.
you
Oh,
don't even you don't even have to go that far.
that's
It's just essentially anti-human. And yes, I mean I've been saying this for many years now. And this is why I get so frustrated and impatient with progressives who will sign on to anything that they think is a new cause. There is no question in my mind that the transgender, the explosion of interest in transgenderism is a manufactured phenomena. It's manufactured by the same culprits that are always behind these things. Once again, the fucking progressive community has been fooled and manipulated into agreeing with things that are just completely insane. I mean,
mhm.
in a very Orwellian sense, you'll now doubt the evidence right before your eyes. Words have no meaning anymore. We have been the world. We've entered a world of total decoherence, where even like man and woman means nothing. Right? We have defied biology, science, real science, and nature, and that's become like a fucking state religion here in Canada. This garbage, this progressive nonsense. They've been astroturfed, they've been used and manipulated. And yes, this is like step one in convincing people that transhumanism is our future. But of course it's not.
Oh,
Humanism is our future.
let me wedge in a point that fucking backs up previous point that I said when if something doesn't make money, it all goes away frighteningly fast. Remember metaverse? I just said it, and it just reminded me like They like fucking Zuckerberg spent 80 billion dollars on metaverse because they're gonna try get us online so we stop paying attention to real life or whatever. And he's just like, ah, it didn't work. Nobody wanted it, so I'm getting rid of it. After he spent $80 billion.
Yeah.
So and like a and
Which is, by the
to
way, which is why I have an issue with your notion that when things stop making money, that will somehow that it'll be eliminated at that
oh,
point.
like
I think
Uber.
money has nothing to do with it, actually.
Well, in a lot
I
of
think we're in a
situations it
post-money
doesn't.
world. I
That's
think that's
true.
kind of 20th century thinking, and you can't think that way
Okay.
anymore.
Um,
I think the movement of capital at this point is not really that important.
also I wanted to point out to your being optimistic. There's a reason that they keep trying to get us fighting with each other. And it's because when we agree on stuff like Adrian said, like this is like I guess basically Outrageous Factory's call to arms. Fucking resist the data centers. As cheesy and lame as that sounds. But they wouldn't like basically there's all this parahistory theorists, all of us. We always talk about how they want us to fight with each other. There's all this like manufactured discontent, how they all like want us to fight with each other. And that's what to be optimists because basically if you just talk to each other, then we let each other know what's going on and then it doesn't work. There's a reason that they're trying to keep us in the dark so much.
Couldn't agree more. I have to answer this call from my wife.
Okay. Do you want to stop the podcast or just pause it?
Oh no, let's put her on the air. Hi, honey. I'm just
Okay.
talking to Dale right now. If can you hang on for like 10 minutes and then I'll grab them?
Guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
Do you want to say hi to our listeners?
God have me on. Oh my God. I'm going now. I love you.
Love
I
you
love
too.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.
You know it's what's really incredible to me
Yeah.
is I'm a big fan of the movie They Live.
Yeah.
Probably not, comes as no surprise. And I always thought, it's a great B movie. It was made very cheaply, and you can tell, that like they're running out of money as it goes on. But I always thought the ending was a little silly, because what happens at the end? Have you seen They Live? Or
Of
have you seen it?
course
Okay, yeah.
I've
So
seen They Live.
how does he prevail? He goes and he like destroys the antenna, right? So
Yeah.
like so suddenly the signal's gone and everybody can see reality for what it really is. And I always thought that was like, it was a good cheesy sci-fi idea, but very, very silly. And now I'm like, well, no, wait a minute. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah,
We
that's all it
just fucking
takes.
destroy the antennas.
Like
That's what they do.
look at how much people hate people who are different. Think of how much people would just hate aliens. And if it's like you instantly know everything's their fault, are like, holy shit, I could be friends with all these cool people again,
Well,
and we could all
sure.
hate the same thing.
But also, like, nobody likes. There are certain characters who are important in this scenario. Some, like one guy whose name rhymes with Belon, and another guy whose name rhymes with feet or heel. Like these people, we all agree we don't like them. No
No,
one likes them.
no.
No one. And so yeah, let's channel let's come together on these issues.
Have you ever heard the theory on what happened to Elon Musk?
No, no.
Okay, so this ties back into your like transhumanist religious shit. Like you know how he was like pushing for Neuralink for a while?
Mm.
And like it's like gonna be in everybody's heads, blah blah blah. We're gonna start human testing. Some people are theorizing that he actually put the neurochip in his own head, like an early version, and that let in like a cybernetic, basically demon, like an AI demon, overtook his brain. And like that's why he gave Trump $250 million. That's why he's like making all these weird choices. And then when you see him on like TV and he's all like weird and super like on the spectrum about shit, they're like, that's actually not him. He's probably an okay guy, whatever, but he's like being co-opted and controlled by some sort of like cybernetic demon.
Sure. Look, whatever it takes, okay?
Yeah. Like
I'm
you
not
said,
gonna
We got to destroy the antenna. We don't need to put antennas inside of our own fucking head that we can't turn off because we don't know what's going to fucking come
Yeah,
through.
that is the thing. Like the hardware has to be somehow deployed. The hardware
Mhm.
has to be built. We have to consent to its use. But we can say no. We can actually say no.
Yeah. Say
Not
no
sure
while you
how that
still
happens,
can.
but listen, even though I think, it's largely useless these days to go marching, I actually think also it's not. And so what just happened in Vancouver? Good work. Well
Hmm.
done. Well done.
Uncharacteristically homegrown episode today.
Hmm.
Do you have time to talk about anything else or do you got to go? It's 12.
I sort of gotta go. And I know we started late, but
That's all
sorry.
right. We'll have a short 45 minute. People will be like, people will probably find it refreshing that they only have to suffer through 45 minutes.
Right, it's true. And we got to the point and we stayed on point.
I
And I'm
love it.
not, I'm not feeling particularly like lucid or articulate today. So
Okay.
I want to apologize for that.
I just wanted to put in one kernel of good news. We don't really have to talk about it. I just want to say Danielle Smith is a dumb fucking idiot and she got her comeuppance because the court threw out her fucking signature thing. What was those petition? She got a petition with like supposedly however many people signed it, and the court was like, "Yeah, you didn't fucking go meet with the First Nations, so we're not counting this. Get out of here. Bye.
Again,
This is
I
done."
have to say once more, it's all theater anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you with this. Really, go check out the latest episode of Geopolitics and Empire with special guest Snow Himbo, who's Canadian and he's a rural Canadian, and he has some very, I think, very wise. He's got a very good take on Alberta's separatism and what's in store for Canada and what the real relationship is between Trump and Carney and Trump and Carney and everybody else, actually. I highly, highly recommend it. So,
Nice.
I'm sitting here, I'm like hungover and tired. I did a 12-hour shift yesterday, and I'm not good today. But Snow Himbo, he's a very, very articulate fellow. You listen to what that guy has to say.
Okay. We will.
That's all.
What was that podcast again?
Geopolitics and Empire.
Okay. Everybody
Really
remember
good.
that.
It's
Go
an
check it
excellent
out.
show.
Yeah. Go listen to some big brain shit after this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're your gateway. Couple
Yeah.
of fucking idiots,
We'll be the
but
Gateway Parahistory podcast.
we both have good reading lists. We'll help.
I think the problem with coming up with parahistory is I said it 1,000 times, and I'm gonna name this episode Parahistory.
It's great. It's great. It's fetch.
Yes. Swag. Drip. It's got drip. Wait. Fuck.
Riz.
There's like new words.
Yeah, I know.
It's big brain maxing or whatever that fucking term is.
Yeah, I
Brain
know.
maxing.
I don't know.
All right.
Aura is a word now.
Oh yeah. Aura. My aura. Yeah. Vibe worked fine. Let's just use vibe.
Yeah, it really did.
Okay.
Okay, honey, I gotta go.
Okay, bye. Until next time.
Bye.